Okay, I'm leaving the house. And I was going to show you where the kitty goes. There's Kitty. That's a little stray kitty. Look, check this out. This is a little window unit where their kitty can. Hey, Kitty. I know you're looking at the stray kitty. So, before we get going, I wanted to show you. I've made a mullet. I couldn't stand all that wet hair in my face. So I've used a clippy, and we are going, I got my, God dog. Whew. Well, anyway, yeah, so that's why I'm riding into Kentucky with a mullet. Oh, well, you know, you're aggressive. It's not really your, they're letting you have your kitties in the shed. You gotta chill. Bye. Well, cantankerous is what that was. Every hung up shirt that I had right behind me here fell out onto the ground. I'm trying to get into my shoes, and the minute I was walking out of the house on this trip, my good flip-flops broke, and I had to bring my old yard clogs, Crocs. So I've been walking around in Crocs when in, you know, like bathroom, bedroom, inside the house. You probably think I wear Crocs all the time. Which they don't work. It don't work for me. We're going to see Auntie Loretta in Butcher Hollow. And then we're going to Pikeville to get a better grasp of this Hatfield McCoy thing. Then Harlan, Kentucky, which is one of the areas recommended to me by the man who replied to my email. My navigation ain't said a word. I ain't turned around. I need to know which way to go. Kentucky it is. I didn't want to go to Kentucky. Y'all the ones wanted to go to Kentucky. Y'all just, here we go. Y'all going to Kentucky. I want to show you the rest of this sweet little road I'm on and how weird this little cutover is. Right up here, here's the yard. This house was in my photo from the day I met Nell. And see her flowers hanging out. Look how freaking narrow. Look how narrow. There ain't room. There's bye, sweet little road. Old Dan Tucker went to town, riding the billy goat, leading the hand. The old ham bucked and the billy goat jumped, threw Dan Tucker right off a stump. Is that Kentucky? I don't know. Sounds like Kentucky. My mind has turned to what awaits me at home, and I am starting to think about, like, oh, I got stuff to tend to. eBay, I got to get back to eBay. I've gotten lots of sales as I've been going, and they will not be happy with me if I don't get that stuff sent out. Now, there is a vacation mode, and I did set the vacation mode, but I potentially am going over a day. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to cancel. That's so sad because I won't be able to weigh in. You know, I told that doctor I was gonna lose some weight, and I'm not gonna be there to prove to him that I didn't. I've got a home organizing project, exterior renovation project, and a family banquet room project waiting on me. So, I won't be long. I might find a thoroughbred up here in Kentucky and ride him all the way back to Columbia.
In half a mile, keep left.
Well, we gotta turn around, make a U-turn. Somebody had all kind of stuff strewn out in the parking lot back there. I don't want to hear about it. I know y'all trying to get to Auntie Loretta's, but Y'all know what riding with me entails. We're gonna buy some cheap stuff. See, there he is over there setting up. Look at that big basket thing. I'm gonna ask him what that is.
One sharp end, them some sawmill, them's the newer ones.
One is
These are
sharp.
all old ones. I'm gonna drill a hole and some of them make canes out of them, so I'm feeling
Oh yeah. Well, you're gonna
I'm
put a little handle on it or something.
Well, they're gonna drill a hole in, put me a leather strap on it, you know, and kind of whittle that a little bit, and make you a cane. I mean, a good. That's hickory.
And you said, oh,
That's
it's hickory. Oh, I can tell.
That's poplar.
Let me see.
See how light it is?
Yeah. That's denser.
Yeah, these right here, I'll say it's 100-year-old. And I'm 60, and I say these have been around way long, because we never split none. We always.
And you said you used them all your life.
Oh, I used them, yeah, heck yeah, all my life. My dad did too.
And that's all right. I got a 50. I've been holding on to a 50 in my wallet.
Right.
So I'm gonna get the basket and 10 sticks.
There's 10 here. There's 10 here. Look. 1, 2, 3. Wouldn't let nobody just have them.
Here you go. Look. Now, what did they do? What is the basket for harvesting?
Yeah, with the basket, when we when we graduated with tobacco, we used to tie it in hand. And then we'd lay it back. We used to take it to the creek to soak them, because them was made out of oak and it gained a little more weight. Back in the day, man, anything, you know, when tobacco was 95 cents a damn pound.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, any weight helped, right? So we'd soak in, lay it down there, and then them hands would start going in the middle and going around, and then the hands would stick out, and we'd stack them about that high. I guess.
Really? Darn. Okay.
The hands, you know. I'd love to have a few. If I had a few tobacco hands like back in the day and one of them, and a stick to hang them on, man.
And that's just a bundle of leaves, the hand?
Bundle of leaves, like you got first grade, which we call trash, and you got second grade, which is long bright. You got third grade, which is long dark bright. It's a little shorter than it, and then you got tips, which is the top and the black.
Okay, that new growth. Yeah.
On top. That's
Okay.
how we do it.
Man.
And we take a knife and, you know, whack it down and take that stick it in the ground, cut the tobacco, come up here and spear it on that spear, cut it down two rows at a time, 2 rows, drop the sticks in every other row, and go out there and put 5 and 6 to the stick.
All right, that's incredible. I'm glad. Got me a tobacco basket and sticks, and learned a little something about it. He tried to sell me some marijuana. Sign we just passed said Daniel Boone Heritage Trail. We will be at Loretta's at about 2. And then Pikeville or Hatfield McCoy History Museum, something, before they're closed. Then we will make our way down through eastern Kentucky towards Harlan, which may or may not be a good stop, because they don't really cater to Monday business. They wait till longer in the week, and their stores and such are open toward the weekend. And from Harlan, which may be a dud, but I might get a motel there because they were cheap. There's one for like $53. And or I might not get a hotel. If I see that I can make it to the Cumberland Gap before sunset, I might do a little sunset painting at the Cumberland Gap. And then, you know, you can pay like $10 and have a private bathroom and get a shower at a Love's truck stop. And that is a very refreshing. I feel awake after doing that. And getting a coffee and getting into some, you know, then I'll be on sort of flatter roads through maybe I'll have to get south of Chattanooga and Birmingham before I'm on flat roads. But I might drive. I might just come on home after the Cumberland Gap. Instead of getting a cheap motel room, I might just come on home. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, definitely. This is Daniel Boone territory. I just saw another sign. It was a road sign. But, and in my Googling this morning, his name popped up. There's a forest, and I'm sure there's a slew of Daniel Boone stuff. Beginning in 1774, Chief Bengay led a part of the Shawnee from the Ohio River on raids along the frontier. Bengay, who was part white and part Cherokee, frequently captured slaves, then resold them. He also seized white women and children who were then adopted by various Indian groups. On April 6, on 1794, Bengay attacked the Henry and Peter Livingston farm on the Holston River, took several residents prisoner, and marched them northeast. 3 days later, when they entered the Powell Mountain Gap just south, Lieutenant Vincent Hobbs and 11 Lee County militiamen ambushed them, killed Benj with the first volley, and freed the captives. This isn't that bad. It's good to stretch your legs, get your circulation going a little bit, a minimum in my case. Well, not lately, certainly not lately. Should do this more often. Oh my goodness. Just wait.
Head northeast on
Undoubtedly. Oh my gosh, look at that. This is the end of that valley that we saw a while ago. Maybe the whole thing is Rocky Gap, I'm not sure. But look at the scale. That's as far as my camera will zoom in. Pretty big. That's cool. There are men on the side of that rock face, strapped on like window washers. They're drilling holes to put this chain link against the rock to protect traffic from rubble coming off of it. What a spot. I need to get some water. Real proud of my tobacco basket. I have a few primitives, but I'm getting water because I don't know, it just kind of feels like a water day, and I'm growing an aversion, what they call a misophonia, when you hate the sound of something. Misophonia to these plastic bottles. But that's what I got.
take the next.
I just passed an old roadside motel that was converted into self-storage, which I thought was kind of clever. I also passed a big sign for whiskey distillery. However, if I were to buy that, I would want I'd want somebody's shine from a still in a mason jar that's clear and could fuel a jet plane. And I just don't have the connections to score anything like that. The whiskey distillery, I'm sure they're fun, and I think there is a whiskey trail here. But I can get whiskey, and I don't even care for whiskey. Honestly, I prefer the little girly drinks, the little good tasting as far as liquor goes. I think that was all I was gonna say. Traveler's Motel up there. Yeah, that was kind of smart. They just like made the whole motel into a storage units. Now, what would really be smart is if somebody could turn a whole car into a storage unit. Green light. Well, I didn't get a picture of the Kentucky sign, but I'm not fessing to wreck this car. It was little. It was a little blue sign. It really was not. It wasn't one of those big signs. To whom can a person send a thank you card for these wide, safe roads that are well maintained and easy on a person and easy on a vehicle? I mean, this is great, Kentucky. This is concrete. It is a marvel how they build these and keep them up. It's a pretty main road, I reckon. I think it's called the Curvy Road. It's a country music trail, part of, I don't know. Near about everything is a trail of some sort. But this is nice. This is easy. The curves are broad. It's not bumpy. I mean, it's windy, but it's rather nice. It's just a relief. You know, oh, this is kind of an interesting thought manifesting as we speak. It is so difficult to get around over here without the roads, without the technology of anything more than a wagon or a mule or I don't know, or foot. You are relatively, unless you are up to travel and you have the means and gumption to, and just got to go somewhere, you're stuck. You're where you are. You're stuck. And not necessarily in a negative connotation, but being stuck where you are, you gotta make stuff. You can't run. There weren't any Dollar Generals down the 4-lane, 6-lane highway. You make it. You need it. You got to figure out a way to make it. And I think that is where this tradition of handwork came from. People were accustomed to making a thing with their hands and with the materials they had on hand. Because you couldn't just dart over to Hattiesburg from wherever this is. You had to be, what's the word? Ingenuitive. You had to be self-sufficient. You had to come up with stuff on your own. So I imagine people were doing that a good bit, and then some people were doing it a little bit better, and they got some recognition and some clout for it. And before long, somebody who could do something a little bit better than the rest might come along and be recognized for it. And then the next person, and you have this tradition of craftsmen in Appalachia. I mean, it makes sense to me. You know what else there's a lot of up here? It's Long John Silver's and Captain D's. It's seafood, fast food restaurants, which, you know, they're not near the ocean, so maybe they must like their fish sandwich. I kind of could go for a fish sandwich too. I don't know a lot about the Hatfields and McCoys. Exit 23, I think that's where our navigation is taking us anyway. So, and she's likely to speak up, but I wonder if there's a movie about Hatfields and McCoys. Gotta look into that.
In half a mile, use the...
Navigation is nice, but there are signs.
Continue straight to...
There really are signs everywhere. I need to edit in a little video here that is not, this clip is not part of the continuum that you're watching in this video. This clip is from you get the point. So I need to preface my stop in Pikeville. That morning I had looked up things that I was interested in seeing in eastern Kentucky, and there was the notorious Hatfield and McCoy thing, so that went on the list. And I got in the town, and you'll see some of this. I drove and drove and drove. I pretty much covered the whole thing, because you know these towns are small. And then spoke with a nice girl in the tourist bureau, convention bureau, tourist center, and told her sort of what I was looking for. They had a gift shop in this tourist thing, and they had not opened it yet. They're just kind of getting that up and going, and I didn't, I kind of told her what I was looking for, and I could tell she had like a little light bulb moment and said, I know, you can go to 2nd Street. And I was like, yeah, I know where that, been there. To the Faith Life coffee shop. So it's in this building, and I go in, I'm looking around, kind of a neat little business model they have, with the coffee shop and the library and the different rooms, just the way the building was set up, and some little tables outside, and almost a thrifty environment. I'm sorry, this is redundant because you're going to see this in the video, but the point is, after I perused the shop, well, the event that occurred while I was there, you will not get a very clear picture. It might be confusing when you see it because it is not contextualized with video. I didn't have an opportunity, and I don't think I would have been able to video the event that explained it, because this isn't scripted, right? It's just what I'm recording. But the local people who were at the front door where the coffee happens, or the orders, transactions, they were abuzz. They'd received notifications, texts, and calls on their phones. There was a live shooter in Pikeville. In that moment, between the tourist office and going up it, probably while I was in Faith Life coffee shop. And so I come down the hallway, and I did video a little bit of that, to the front, and there's chatter, and it's like everybody is sort of confused and a little bit frantic and frightened, and they're looking at phones, and they're I got a little bit of what they did catch the guy, but it was quite an experience. And it was about a block from that location, and it was really kind of shook me up afterwards. Just, it is a damn shame that in 2023, that is something with an increased likelihood for any one of us to experience. And I didn't see the guy. I didn't hear the gunshots. But I did get a bait of the emotion that was a collective emotion between me and like 3 or 4 other strangers. And a little ways afterwards, when I left the town, kind of got to me. When I was in Jonesboro, Bethany, maybe 30-ish, she made a comment, and it came up in conversation that she thinks about people being active shooters. Like, she's aware, situationally aware, when she goes into places. Like, if somebody looks a little strange or has a jacket or is reaching in their jacket, things like that. She thinks about those things. I didn't grow up. I'm not conditioned to think. I'm not conditioned to look and suspect that someone may have a gun in public and is about to shoot people. Younger people do. Younger people think about that. So, it was just surreal, you know. It was frightening, and it was over fairly soon. I looked back at that video clip and I saw on this woman's phone, who let me record over her shoulder, or standing next to her, there was a message that popped up on her screen that said he was caught. So it may have been over as soon as it happened. I might go back, or you might want to go back and look at the look for a news article or something about Pikeville, Kentucky shooter on what is today. I don't even know what today is, but that would have been yesterday, 25th, maybe. Anyway, well, I mean, that was something, right? Oh, yeah, I'm recording. Now you can watch the video that I took in Pikeville and see how that pans out. I just felt like it needed a little bit more insight, because like my recording was just like as if I was recording anything, and it didn't really explain what was happening, and it was probably confusing my commentary afterwards. So, Heritage Museum, all sorts of signs we just passed. Kind of be fun to just get in the car and go and not even use the navigation, just like read the signs. Pikeville City Hall, library, cemetery, parking garage, senior citizen center. I've noticed that too. There are community centers. Do we have those? Nav just told me turn right on Division Street. I was distracted. That sign said Appalachian Center for the Arts. We will look at Hatfield McCoy, but Appalachian Center for the Arts, kind of more my cup of tea. Division Street, that's got to have something to do with the feud. Division.
Turn right onto 2nd.
Ooh, she's put us on an alley. Look, they do the bears, like Hattiesburg does the swans. Little brick street, cute little shops. I bet this is lively at times. Oh, I love that storefront. Good job.
You have arrived.
Well, I'm in an alley. That is the McCoy house. There's a marker. It's a Chirico's right now, but see the historic marker? As soon as I go bragging about not needing navigation, I get lost in Pikeville. Talking about all the signs. There's signs everywhere. I didn't go up in the park and think I can't find the Visitors Bureau. It's cute. It's a cute little place. But, and I'm not sure that Performing Arts Center has anything going on unless there's a performance there. Ghostbusters Tanning. That's a good name. Alright, so there's a Visitors Welcome Center somewhere, and I'm getting hungry. I'm yawning. I'm ready to find a cute spot and get into my picnic and stuff. But doggone, I'm just about to give up. I don't know where the Vista Center is. I have seen 2 people doing pretty much exactly what I'm doing with this phone. Pikeville City Police, Center for the Arts, Tourism, Pikeville Tourism. Okay, this away. Enjoy Downtown, Appalachian Center for the Arts. Yeah, not sure. It's a nice pop art mural. Appalachian Wireless Arena, University Prairie, parking garage, hotel idea. Is that it? Convention and Visitors Bureau? I mean, that's... sounds like it. Alright, that's flashing yellow. Parking garage. No, sir. I'm not fixing to walk all over this town looking for it either. Alright, that's the city park. Historic Bed and Breakfast, Garfield, Pike, Hack, the cemetery. We're gonna say eat in the freaking park, and we can Google and YouTube this stuff later. Beautiful. Oh man, that was beautiful. Okay, let me get turned around here. There's a fire department, medical. Okay, I'm turning around. Don't look. There's a university ahead of us. Everybody goes to school there, comes out with thick legs. Well, would you look at that? Visitor Center parking only. Don't nobody come here unless you are Visitor Center parking. That feels like soapstone. That doesn't feel like resin. So that's probably carved by Inuit. That's cute. A little bit of vintage stuff. My goodness. What is this place? Ooh. It's a little bit too scary looking. It's $3. We're chipped. But that's neat. Some kind of vase. Oh my. That's That's my pad. Oh, there's too much crazing and staining. What am I going to do with a pie plate anyway? Well, this is a neat place. It's called Faith Life. Faith Life is the coffee shop. And then we have different little enterprises inside the coffee shop. Now, I wonder what that is. There is a hole there and a loop there. Huh. I don't know what it is. Oops, excuse me. There's more of the thrift. Who'd have thunk it? So the girl at the visitor center said that I might could find some stuff over here made by local people. That's not my office. But this is a really cute setup for a place of business.
I call it a haberdashery.
A haberdashery?
Yeah, it's my favorite place.
What is a haberdashery?
I don't know, but I like the word.
I do too. Yeah, I'm with you.
The employees here.
We do not know how many
Is that
people
here?
are
It's live. It's just right down
how many
the,
are
on the corner.
injured.
An
But
active
first
shooter.
responders are
Yeah.
here on the scene.
My
I'm gonna
God.
turn my camera around. We've got first responders here on the scene, and if I
There's
step
an
over
active
this way,
shooter in
the
Pikeville
road
right
is
now.
blocked on the opposite end of the bypass as
Unless they
well,
caught it.
around the double
Well, at
quick.
least we're in the Faith Life
This
Market.
time, this was
Time
20
being,
minutes
we have
ago.
limited
Yeah,
information
yeah.
on this.
No wonder everybody was
and
looking at me
updates
weird
will
when I.
come, as updates are available, as we get more information,
He
we will
had
be able
white
to
pants on.
publish it.
He has
So,
white pants, long
stay
black
tuned
hair.
for that.
Don't think you fit the
And
description.
we will
No.
we'll understand the situation better
Okay,
as the day goes
okay.
on. And,
My God,
we'll
I'm on a
speak to
road
some of
trip,
the
and
first
I was in
responders, some of the,
Jonesboro, and the girl I was with was thinking of active shooters, and I just, I'm interrupting, aren't I?
No, you're fine.
available. So,
You'll just,
for the time being, this is as far as
I was in the Friend building built in 1878 at the Faith Life Market, and the shooter was, I understand, on the other side of this building right here, an active shooter. I don't have the words right now. Well, I found a bracelet on the ground getting into the car right here. I have my coffee. Let me throw those out. Oh, there's my coffee. And ooh-wee. I just don't. We're going to Butcher Hollow. We're going to Loretta Lynn's. How is it that I have the gumption to go to the town of the Hatfields and McCoys and there is an active shooter? An active shooter. I didn't hear gunshots. And they did get him. They got him while I was there. But what the heck? Hoo-wee. Anyway, what? There was a beautiful swinging bridge, but we are hightailing it out of here. This is the next to last day, and I am unfortunately 2 days behind uploading, editing, piecing together, uploading videos, so I will be home before I upload today's video, and that's probably a good thing. This is the next to last day, and did you know there is a nice word called the penultimate? Penultimate means next to last. So that was pretty ultimate. I'm not making light of it, but I'm not, no, I'm shook up. Everybody's shook up everybody back there in that little coffee shop was like, you know, in a lifeboat together. I'm barely processing this. We're en route to Loretta Lynn birthplace, to Harlan, Kentucky, where I may do an overnight, Cumberland Gap, and then maybe we'll see something on the way home, maybe not. Maybe I'll just be ready to get to the house. Goodness. All I need to find now is a shepherd's hook. Do you see where there's a dividing median in the cliff face? There's a fairly tall bottom part, and then there's almost a ledge. That's a vein of coal. We have gotten off the big road onto a Johns Creek road, which feels like a holler, although a large one. It's just where a sort of narrow lowland area breaks off in the terrain and a road runs up it, perpendicular off the big road. Maybe, I don't know if this qualifies as a holler or not, but it, you know, it's a little offshoot. It's cool. The air is cool. That really is fascinating. This is Loretta Lynn's family home and birthplace in Butcher Hollow. We are about to see. I have watched a YouTube video of a person who went to Butcher Hollow, and there, I think instead of a pole and a road sign, it's written on a rock at a fork in the road. There's some horses over there. Oh, you just missed another.
In a quarter mile, turn right on.
A hairpin turn. Always exciting. She said,
Take the next right onto
I cut the audio out, but this is Silk Stocking Loop.
In a quarter mile, continue straight.
Silk Stocking Loop is the name of this road. In a quarter mile, I get onto a different one. There's little his houses and a big old tide. A little creek. And a caboose, the Chesapeake and Ohio train car back there.
Continue on Millers Creek Road for 2.
There is a car behind me and has been since the last several turns. So I would imagine they're coming to Loretta. Look, what in the world? Did y'all see that big round disc? It was stone. It was a stone disc the size of a sugar kettle. I could live down in a holler like this. Just give me one of these old rundown places. Well, got back there and the road came to a T, and I was uncertain. My navigation did not speak up. She's mowing that yard, mowing the ditch. There's some trailer houses. I mean, they are shaped well enough to fit in these little spots. Road signs say, that one said acres, HOL on the road sign. So it's like a DR for drive, ST for street. The road sign says HOL for hollow, holler. Oh, there's a big house. Right on the, oh my, look at the pavement. That's not a house. Loretta Lynn Home Place Tourism Info. That is a store. Cute. Look, they're actually open. I saw the red neon open sign in the rear view. Look at this little bridge. Tiny little bridge. Wow, you couldn't fit 3 wheelchairs across that bridge. So, they must, oh, there it is. Yeah, it does say open. We're gonna pull in here. We're gonna check out the little store. And there's some yard birds.
In a quarter mile,
Look at
turn
that.
left onto Wheatfield Loop Road.
Hush, babies, shut up so we can, you don't talk right. I suspect they are accustomed to people coming in here with smartphones recording. So let's give it a shot. Oh, it's a young fellow. Of course he is. Hey there. I just said I'm recording. I bet they're accustomed to people coming in recording on their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I'm one of them people. I'm looking for the... I'm not far from the Loretta place, am I?
It's a mile and 6/10 road.
Mile and 6/10.
Yeah, you just found black road.
You got souvenirs in here? What about? Oh. Oh, yeah, you do. Are you any kin? Cousin? Now, I saw some of these little black figurines in West Virginia, and they are made with coal. Do you know? They are. There's a cardinal. One of the first concerts that I went to, Crystal Gale. Is she related? Crystal's a cousin?
Crystal Gale is Loretta's sister.
Is a sister. I should have known that. Yeah, I don't remember. I was very, very young, but I do believe we saw Loretta in concert, and Crystal opened for her, I believe. I just come through Pikeville. Okay, that'll do me. That's cool. I like a tote bag. Stay on the blacktop part of it. 1 mile 6/10 up the road. There is a stone and a fork, and he said you'll see it. Okay, he gave me a ticket, said, it's a receipt in my wallet in my pocket. He said, show them this so they'll know you've paid. Loretta Lynn Home Place, here we are. There's some cousins sitting out in the yard. What's up?
Your destination is on.
She hushed all by herself. I didn't even have to stop the phone. And pull up a little more. Okay. Fern growing on the hill. Did y'all see the cousins down there? Lord have mercy. This is as good as Dog Pets USA. Hey, is it y'all okay with me recording?
I mean, they take pictures. They don't do video in the house, but you can take pictures.
Okay.
Where are you from, bud?
Mississippi.
We just cut the grass.
Y'all just cut the grass.
Yep.
Well, I could have pretended. Yeah. To get your picture. Okay. We're on the other side of that silk stocking loop. We coming down the other leg now. And I have no service in this hollow. And there's probably a map in here. But I think my route will backtrack a bit and I'll leave here the way I came in. And I believe I can figure that much out. I say that, I don't think I came in that way. Yes, I did come in that way. Uh-oh. Let me do something. Well, it is just a little odd to not have any navigation. But I did come in this way. We are in Hazard County, Kentucky. And I think the town is of the same name. Don't get too excited, because I've already Googled. Dukes of Hazzard was a fictitious town in Georgia. So there's not really a Dukes of Hazzard. Well, probably somewhere there is. We are gonna get out of the sun. Oh, there's a Goodwill right here. We're gonna check her out. Let's buy some Lisa Frank looking colors. That's cute. I like these. These are so handy. Excuse me. Well, that's curious. Oh. No idea. Print. This is a print, but it's a nice frame. And it might fit Lisa's painting that I just did at the Mabry Mill. I believe that frame is the right size. Okay, that was it. Not much by pillows or linen, so let's get back on the, oh, I see a little tapestry something. Okay, we'll get back on the road. That's odd. That is a strange shape, shaped like a cowrie shell. Huh. This is very unique. Bound to have some damage. $2. I'd use it. I'd use it myself. I'll do $2. That was quick and fun and cheap. My total at this little store, I had to pick up a necessity. Some rolling tubes for cigarettes. Anyway, my total was $4.22, and I gave her a quarter to cover the 22. She shut the register and handed me change. She didn't give me any change back from the quarter to cover the 22. I got her to open it back up and give me my 3 cents. Oh, perfect timing. There is a train across the river here. Doesn't look like it's moving. I don't believe it is moving, but there is some operation, very large, with all sorts of infrastructure, all sorts of elevators, and I can't really see it. Surely coal. Beautiful creek, if you could catch a glimpse. Oh, well, didn't see much of that. Somewhere down here on my route to Cumberland Gap is a Daniel Boone Inn, and I was thinking about calling ahead to make sure they had a vacancy, because I wouldn't want to go out of my way to get someplace that was a dud like the Patriot Inn in Beaver, West Virginia. So I think I'm gonna call ahead. If not, there is a Roadway Inn, and they're both dirt cheap. Like, it's one night. I'm not even getting much out of this car. I'm going into a motel pretty soon, relatively soon, probably in at least a couple hours before dark. I mean, these little towns. Look at that. Horton's, Leslie County Public Library, Hyden, Hyden. That's the name of this town. Hyden. And that was it. I will tell you, I have a low, I will tell you, I have a low humming anxiety over this stabilitrack issue that has come on in the dash and gone away, and then the little whistling from the wheel in that gorge. I can hear something rubbing at the brake. I believe it's on the passenger side, and Mr. Bo Prine aligned these tires and mentioned something about the brake, but a neighbor had just worked on the brake, and it's four-wheel drive. Someone told me that a four-wheel drive, you will, if you rotate the tire with your hand when it's up, elevated up, you will hear something rub. But oh my God, that was a beaver! I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but he was sticking up out of the ditch. I was looking right at him like it was a yard ornament. It was a beaver. I will try to get back in this reel of video and find him. But anyway, I was going to say, Mr. Bo likely was right. And it's just like I said, it's just kind of like in the back of my mind worrying me, because when I was young and irresponsible with my vehicles, you'll see the filthy windshield again. I would hear that sound, and what would be the case is the brake pad had worn, and I don't want to mention it on the phone to my family, because I don't want them to have that big rolling eye and sighing moment like, oh, he's torn the car up, you know. But it might be wise to look for a brake center around Cumberland. I can't see. There goes that little beeping from the, well, not that was me, but there was a little beep, little stabilitrack beep. So anyway, I guess I'll look for a brake center and at least let someone tell me something. I'd probably be lying to myself if I was close, if I said I was not too far from home and just make it home, because I've got to traverse Tennessee north to south and then come down through the hilly part of Alabama until I'm in Meridian, and south of Meridian, Mississippi, it's flat. But if you're on these roads, and if you're taking off, particularly taking off to travel these roads, check on your brakes, get your brakes lined up. Now, it was my impression that the brakes had just been worked on, but I would feel a lot better if I tend to that tomorrow, just to know, and just to get some advice from a professional. There's got to be brake service all over the place. I can't imagine a brake repair would be hard to find up here. Ooh, pretty. Little stone bottom creek. Those were round stones too. The creek, the river, the Nolichucky that I was in yesterday, I got some pretty good scratches down one of my legs from a stone underwater. It was sort of a sedimentary stone, layers and layers and layers, and after being in the water for so long, the softer layers of sediment had worn away, which left very thin, jagged, sharp, freaking hard layers of rock. It was like a comb, like the teeth on a comb, and they did go down my left leg. So I got some bobos, I got some battle scars, or anyway, not a big deal. Yeah, I'm gonna find a little roadside inn soon and then we'll call it a day. Goodness gracious, I haven't tried washing my windshield. I don't think now's the exterior of the windshield. I'm not going to do it right now though. I just beg your pardon for all the glare and smudges. We should be in Harlan, Kentucky. About 35 minutes. Wait, you gotta see this. There's somebody on a four-wheeler ahead of me. Where did he go? It's going faster than I. There he is. There's a man on his ATV. Mountain Farm Road. Hughes and Sally Morgan Memorial Highway. The Stinnett Elementary. There he goes. Hey, he stuck his arm out. That was his turn signal. Y'all remember that? I bet half of y'all ain't even had driver's ed. Apparently, judging by the traffic, you ain't. There went another four-wheeler. I mean, some of these are kind of... Oh, he's weed eating. Some of these little hollers... You know, the yards are kept neat. Even if the place itself is a ramshackle. The yards are nice and mowed. That's saying something. What's that gonna? Yeah, another man on the four-wheeler. So I'm going to just stop reporting every time I see somebody on the road on a four-wheeler or a lawnmower. Saw one of those. I'm so sorry. I'm chewing pumpkin seed, but I wanted you to see this. Please excuse me. Conveyor. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Bledsoe Coal Core. That was her. Big conveyor belts. And, a lot of exposed bedrock. But it's so striated, I don't know if that's, you know, the way it was formed geologically, or if it's been mined and scraped or anything. But I have no signal, but I do know we're about 6 miles out of Harlan. And there is a roadway in Harlan. My God. My ears are getting kind of... My head's getting real thick from the elevation. Yeah, there's a tower right there. And the only towers that I have seen have been at the tippy top of stuff. And I can see the guide wires for that one. So we're high. Right there. And I'm ready to get somewhere. Get a hotel room. Motel room. I say motel because mo stands for motor, and they are typically those with a door to the exterior. So you're not necessarily going into a lobby, an elevator, down a hallway, and all that. Motel. My word, that mountaintop over there was deformed, like it's been strip mined or something. It was angular, not like the... That wasn't as bad as I made it sound. I was being a little dramatic, that's all. There is a mountain over there that is being I'm not sure of the term. It's kind of sad, really. Okay, Harlan. Man, 5 miles doesn't sound like anything, but as you can see, and kudzu is back. The creek, oh, cool temperature. The creeks are looking more like those of Tennessee. Oh! Did you see that big overhang? Okay, I'm being a little bit silly, I reckon. On slowed down public land. Alright then. I'm going 35 now. Ugh, I don't like the way this is panning out. Wow. Look at the litter. I saw a sign earlier that said littering is illegal. I reckon that's could be of some benefit to someone who did a good bit of litter there too. They all aluminum cans. Bye. I'll talk to y'all when we get stopped. Dang at the aluminum cans. Yeah, this has got to be Harlan. We got to be coming up on Harlan very soon. But judging by the trash and the litter, we might get on somewhere else. I just don't know. I can deal with podunk, but I like podunk, familiar podunk in my neck of the woods. I'm a little skittish of podunk in unfamiliar places. And I have been told these people don't just act warm toward strangers in this part of Kentucky. They kind of fly by stranger danger. They've probably been screwed over enough by people they even know that you would lose your trust in folk. The litter. Wow. Litter bugs. I don't know about this. I just don't know. Yeah. Okay, good news. That little thoroughfare brought us out to a major road, a more civilized looking road, cause you didn't see all of it, and a good bit of it was pretty rough. And I was very, very skeptical of staying there, around there. So I think this is actual Harlan. Countryside Motors. There's an obelisk. No, that says Baxter. Let me get somewhere with Wi-Fi and find the heck out. Here's Phil's barbershop. Okay, I gotta get back up on the good road to get some Wi-Fi. I don't want to drive in the dark, but I will, because we're not staying here. Look, bridge closed, covered with kudzu. There's some travel trailers, but I don't think they're travel. And We're not doing this. Well, I found some place that looked pretty decent. It's Smokin' Joe's. They got a drive-through with about 5 beer brand neon signs at the drive-through. And you know how we do that little nod, that little hello nod like that? Ain't nobody doing that. So we just drive until we get to a Walmart or something. Or don't McDonald's have Wi-Fi? Can't you get Wi-Fi to McDonald's? Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna drive. We're gonna get on this big road and go in that direction, I guess. Good God. I hope, I gotta know if that's the right direction. Shit, let me try this Dairy Queen. I'm gonna have to roll a cigarette. I'm down to 2. And there ain't no way I'm getting out of here without more than 2 cigarettes. So, here we go. I have to put a parental warning on this video. That's my machine. That's my tobacco. It's got a sign on it. And I don't care. I'm gonna smoke the paint. I'm gonna smoke the dirt. Okay. This is what I bought back there when that woman said, took my whole quarter for 22 cents due. We're gonna get my machine fixed up. Throw some tobacco in there. Stick this tube on right there. Make us some cheap cigarettes real quick. And I might go in this Dairy Queen and beg to use their Wi-Fi for a minute. I restarted my phone. Let me see if the see if I've got any signal. Navigation just said turn left, then turn left, like she was mad at me. But I got online and I'm good skipping this because the only thing that I was interested in at Harlan.
Turn right towards State Highway 72, then turn right onto State Highway 72.
Okay, you heard the lady. It's a Sassy Trash was the name.
Turn
of
left
the
onto US 421 North, then turn left onto US 119 South.
Did I just turn right? Oh my God.
In 1,000 feet, make a U-turn at State Highway 840.
Yeah, it'll be dark, but we're going to Cumberland Gap.
Make a U-turn at State Highway 840.
It is part of the National Park Service. I'm a little more confident in that property proprietorship Hey, for
In
sale.
a quarter
Hog
mile,
Heaven
turn
Pit
left onto
Barbecue.
US 119 South.
All right, she said turn left, right? You have got to be kidding. I just took you all over this hotel room. I just talked about the people down that way. We looked in the bathroom. I made a joke about getting stuff out of my car and decorating in here. I took you over here and turned that thing on. Talked about how there was I heard a child outside, and that made me feel a little safer that people would bring a child here. And then there's 3 dudes down the walkway here in a company truck or a van. They're sitting in lawn chairs, smoking, drinking a little music, but harmlessly. I mean, and then there was another little dude sitting down that way. So, I don't remember, that was the gist of it. But I just stood in here talking to myself for the last 5 minutes. I did not get anything out of the car. I came straight to the door with my key. The door is locked. It might be dark now. It was very much dusk. Anyway, I'm going to go outside, smoke, think, and get the bare necessities out of the Suburban. Oh, I know what I said. I was talking about the girl that was in the lobby that got ran off by the Patel. And Patel means innkeeper, right? I believe the last name means innkeeper. I mean, it does. Oh, I don't know. I was just going on and on and on, talking about how she looked like the other sister from the Irish movie with Meryl Streep called Dancing at Lunasa. And I talked about how she didn't have no bra on. And all she had was a tank top and a backpack as big as a laundry basket. And so she's around here somewhere. But I'm going to think by the Suburban. And I'm going to take out of the Suburban only what I will need. And I will hopefully get a very early start in the morning. Maybe paint in the morning light at Cumberland Gap, which is not too far. I also mentioned in the whole video that wasn't actually recording that I did get spooked. I got spooked. I just didn't have a good feeling about that Harlan area. The litter, the way things were just, the shacks, no pride of place, people, anywho, I'm in a better place. Comparatively better. Whew. Oh God. Here she comes. Here comes Lunasa. She ain't got no problem staring at you. I think she's talking to someone on her phone. I know better than to start a conversation. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you just know better than to start talking. I thought she was talking to her phone. I didn't see no phone. And I don't know why the heck she's parked like that. Look. I've been 1 block from an active shooter today. I know I should act more kind about that, but stranger danger. Why is she hanging up there by the road when she's got a vehicle here parked? I believe the Patels were, I thought they were running her off. Okay. Bear with me. I need a sounding board to help me think of what I need. What do I absolutely need to have with me? I need my little yellow Hawaiian Airlines bag from thrift shop back in 1995. Thereabouts. I need that little bag. I'm gonna need those Crocs because I blew out my flip-flop. I kinda want a jar of my mother's chicken and some black beans and sandwich makings. I need my tobacco basket. Not my new one. My little picnic basket with my cigarette roll and stuff in it. So I should have time on my hands to take care of that. I need some waters. And I did laundry this morning. So I know kind of what I want to wear tomorrow. And it ain't nothing special. It's just plumb comfortable. Alright. Oh, I guess I need the bag full of my pillows and linens. I don't think I want to. Yeah, I don't want to lay my head down. Okay. Cigarette basket. Toiletry bag. My little outfit for tomorrow. And my pillows. And then I can come back out here and eat. Y'all. Alright, let me come in here. You hear the echo? It echoes. Everything's a hard surface. Now, I came in here earlier and cranked open this little shutter. I don't know what these are called, but I like them. They're like Bermuda shutters. Florida room. They're louvered. Anyway, I came in here, opened that. Now, hear me right. I closed the lid and I sat there on the lid and smoked a cigarette, okay? Where it's vented. I finished, I stood up, and that lid is thin plastic, and right now it's convex. As I sat on it, it was concave. As I stood up from it, it popped, and I nearly came out of these Crocs. I can't tell you how loud it was. So I'm going to bed. I'm not editing video. I do like those